Hi, Kriti, let's start. Nikita will join whenever she will.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Very good evening. कैसे रही आपकी दिवाली हॉलीडेज?
Yes, ma'am.
कैसे रही दिवाली हॉलीडेज?
मैम मैं तो हॉस्टल में थी.
अच्छा, you didn't go home?
No, ma'am. Our external exam will start from after next week.
Okay. So we discussed about an assignment that you guys will be doing. Did you try and do it? Try coaching on somebody?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what was the result?
So, ma'am, I am conducting it on the one person who has examination anxiety.
Okay.
Age is about 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
In first session, it is mainly an information exchanging session, and I was listening to the subject, a client, and I मैम मैंने उन्हें रिलैक्सेशन टेक्निक बताई थी फर्स्ट सेशन में एक.
Okay.
और rapport building first session is all about that, and in second session Usha ma'am has provided us a motivation booklet. मैंने उसे उन्हें फिल करने दिया ताकि वो अच्छे से स्ट्रक्चर कर पाए. और एक छोटा सा रोल प्लेइंग ताकि उनको पता चल जाए कि रोल एक्सचेंज करके ताकि उन्हें पता चले कि वो कहाँ पे और सुधार कर सकती हैं. And one more relaxation technique, and I have added Brahmari and Surya Namaskar for daily practice.
Okay, and what was the problem to this guy?
Examination anxiety.
Examination, right. Okay. So any positive result, or did you face any fear?
Yes.
As a coach, how did you feel?
As a coach, right questions to ask, and when is the exact time to ask something. I faced some difficulty at this point, and क्योंकि रैपो पहले से बिल्ड था, थोड़ा मैं जानती थी उनके बारे में, तो उतना परेशानी नहीं हुआ.
Okay, great. So next time you need to try it on somebody you don't know much.
मैम मैं इन्हें भी नहीं जानती थी, बस थोड़ा बहुत ही था.
Okay.
क्योंकि यहाँ हम लोग सभी हॉस्टल में हैं, तो किसी ऐसे लोग से कांटेक्ट कर पाना जो मैं ऑनलाइन कर सकती हूँ ये किन्हीं पे, पर फिर वो ऑनलाइन उतना इफेक्टिव नहीं हो पाएगा, मुझे ऐसा लगता है.
No, ऑनलाइन भी इफेक्टिव होगा, ऐसा नहीं है. It totally depends upon how you conduct the session.
So I have to conduct on 2 clients. I will be taking one an unknown person to online mode.
Okay.
मैम ये रिपोर्ट कब तक सबमिट करना है?
कौन सा रिपोर्ट? बिजनेस? No, it's not a report.
PPT presentation.
PPT presentation कल करते?
सेशंस का? ओके मैम. मैम मेरी एग्जाम स्टार्ट हो जाएंगी नेक्स्ट वीक के बाद से, तो लास्ट असेसमेंट हमारा.
हाँ, हमारा एग्जाम असेसमेंट हम 12-13 को सोच रहे हैं.
12. ओके मैम, On Sunday I will do.
सो हमारे पास टाइम कम है, कल का टाइम है, मतलब आज और कल की 2 क्लासेस हैं, फिर नेक्स्ट वीक की क्लासेस है। इसके बीच में वी विल ट्राई जो 2 क्लासेस हमने मिस किए हैं वो भी हम लोग कहीं ना कहीं एडजस्ट करके खत्म करेंगे।
यस मैम। तो
12th
स्ट्रक्चर
को
क्या होगा मैम असेसमेंट का?
स्ट्रक्चर होगा उसका एक प्रेजेंटेशन एंड देन वी विल डू मॉक सेशंस।
ओके मैम।
How are we going to do this? We will discuss it once everybody is there. I'll let
Yes,
you know. I don't remember how we did last time. Alright, so chalo, let's do it. So today's topic that we want to discuss is coaching for personal growth. So how it can actually help you in personal growth for yourself and personal growth for the clients that you are going to handle and deal with. So the first important thing to understand in this topic is basically what personal development is all about. Whether it is all about self-knowledge, self-responsibility, esteem, regulations, sense of control, self-transcendence or authentic self. हमने ये सब के बारे में पढ़ा भी था. We discussed about these things in the goal development goals when we were talking about initially कि क्या योगा लाइफ कोचिंग क्या लाइफ कोचिंग के गोल्स होने चाहिए हमारे लाइफ में और हमको किस तरीके से अपने जितने भी क्लाइंट्स हैं या जो भी लोग हमारे पास प्रॉब्लम्स लेकर आएंगे उनका क्या क्या किस तरीके से रिजॉल्व करना है. सो कोचिंग इज ऑल अबाउट ensuring that transformation is happening, some change is happening. So how are you ensuring कि कुछ change दिखाई दे रहा है किसी और के अंदर. So उन सब चीजों के लिए what are we going to do is basically we need to analyze self knowledge, responsibility, self esteem, regulation of emotions. क्या सेंस ऑफ कंट्रोल आ गया है हमारे पास जब हमने कोचिंग स्टार्ट करी थी, हमारे क्लियर गोल्स हुए हैं नहीं हुए हैं, हमारा सेल्फ ट्रांसेंडेंस कैसे हो रहा है. सेल्फ ट्रांसेंडेंस बेसिकली वेरी हायर लेवल ऑफ चेंज इन अस जिसका बदलाव लोगों को भी नजर आना शुरू हो जाता है. एक तो होता है कि खुद के अंदर थोड़े से चेंजेस हमें नजर आ गए कि व्हाटएवर वी हैव डन सो फार थ्रू द लाइफ कोचिंग, हमारे कोच ने हमें कुछ मोटिवेशनल टिप्स दी हैं, कुछ क्वेश्चन आंसर सेशंस दिए हैं, योगा थेरेपी दी है या रिलैक्सेशन थेरेपी दी है या कोई साइकोलॉजिकल ट्रीटमेंट्स दिए हैं. उसके बाद लोगों को हमारे अंदर क्या चेंजेस आने शुरू हो जाएंगे. सो दैट स्टेज इज कॉल्ड सेल्फ ट्रांसेंडेंट स्टेज. फिर आता है हमारा ऑथेंटिक सेल्फ इन रिलेशन विद कि हमारा क्या पर्पस है लाइफ का, हमें मिला है या नहीं मिला है, किस तरीके की वैल्यूज हमने अपनी लाइफ में अब इनकलकेट करनी है. सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल कोई बहुत ज्यादा इमोशनल ट्रॉमा से गुजरता है, राइट, एंड दे कम टू यू फॉर कोचिंग and you provide them coaching keeping in mind your leadership style, your coaching style, your coaching model, अलग अलग therapies techniques सब use करके. Now at the end of these sessions or while you are redirecting them to a newer life, you need to ensure कि उनको नया meaning मिल जाए life का. So that emotional hurt or emotional trauma or emotional problems that they have gone through, वो सब धीरे धीरे हटकर there has to be a different purpose now. Some people find this purpose कि मुझे जो इतना trauma हुआ है मेरे emotional problem से, I will also help other people away from this trauma. या फिर वो अपनी life को एकदम different meaning देना शुरू कर देते कि I have wasted so much of life crying over something or somebody or whatever. Now I have to make sure that my life has something to do. Whether it is for the family, whether it is for official purpose, whether it is professionally to help somebody, NGO start कर देते हैं. So there are so many stories which are there. So if you look into किसी भी motivational speaker को उठा के देख लीजिए. So whenever there is a motivational speaker, there is a story behind that, and that story has come from this, that they have worked upon their personal development, they have ensured कि अपनी नॉलेज, अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, अपनी एस्टीम, इन सब चीजों के अंदर वो इतना चेंज लेकर आएंगे that they become a complete different person. And that is why people consider life coaching as a very transformative kind of a session. एंड जेन्युइनली जब आप गुजरते हैं इस चीज से कि अपने आप में चेंजेस देखने और दूसरों में चेंजेस देखने के लिए, तो यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट सेल्फ डेवलपमेंट इज हैपनिंग. Now when people come to you, you need to ensure that they understand what is the need of personal growth, right? Why they want to discover their purpose, how do they feel empowered, how do they feel that they are really really strong, right, with themselves, with their relationship, what kind of thing that is going on. So a lot of things are there. Sure, Niveda, that would be wonderful. Do participate. And yes, good evening. Right, so we are just talking about what is the life coaching for personal growth and development. First, for yourself and for the clients that you are going to deal with. So the need of personal growth is there purely because first the objective is when they want to discover their purpose. You know, life अब when we do SEO, हम लोग जब अपनी वेबसाइट के थ्रू पहुंचते हैं लोगों के पास, तो हमारे पास सबसे ज्यादा सर्चेस किस चीज के आते हैं? For my personal website, people generally are looking for what is their purpose for life. You know, at the age of 27, 30 से लेकर 45, 50 years तक, a lot of people are actually now feeling stressed, so emotionally high, so emotionally disturbed, and they keep looking for these answers on Google or any search engine. So they just keep discovering कि मेरा purpose क्या है life में, because people are so confused, they don't know whether they are really meant for just doing these jobs that they are doing, for the studies that they are doing. And that is the whole reason that, you know, there is nobody to guide them, even in the school colleges or even with their parents, who can guide them and let them know that, you know, the purpose of life is to live life properly. There is no other thing. You know, don't look for happiness in others, don't look for happiness where, right, where people are not really looking into these things, right? So it's very important that we as a life coach give them this kind of training, give this kind of confidence that they discover their purpose for life, whatever that purpose is. Then second important point in this is that when they want to get empowered, a lot of people do not feel, you know, confident. They do not feel that they are empowered to do so many things in their life. In our own mind, we keep hearing so many negative talks entire day, so many negative feelings, so many negative thoughts keep coming in, and we do not really feel that confident that there is a potential in us to perform so many different things altogether. What we keep doing is we keep feeling is that we are not good enough, we cannot do these things. So that cannot or not or no worth is more than what we are capable of. So it's very important as a life coach that you need to entertain, or you need to create such a structure, such a chart for people that they feel every time they are coming to you for any kind of sessions. You need to ensure that they feel empowered, that they are very, very strongly looking into their inner potential, their internal, you know, introspection is happening on a regular basis. They just keep telling you about what needs to be, sorry, or you need to keep telling them about what needs to change in them so that they can feel more powerful about themselves. You know, a lot of people comes to us and they say that we are fearful of what people will think about me, or fearful of that, you know, if I do this particular thing right now, what will be the impact? But you know, so as a life coach, you need to ensure that these things are going in their mind slowly, either by motivation, either by some relaxation technique, anxiety related techniques, that every time they are performing something new, you know, they should feel confident about it. और इसका एक बेसिक बहुत छोटी सी टेक्निक है that we generally use, that I particularly use mostly in my life coaching session is I start and initiate that every time when we are into these session at this stage जहाँ पर हम personal growth की बात करने लग जाते हैं. So I tell them for next 10 days you have to perform one activity which is totally new, which you have never done in your life. Whether it is talking to a stranger, आप मेट्रो में जा रहे हो या बस में जा रहे हो या public transport use कर रहे हो, anywhere, you have never spoken to anybody, go and talk to a stranger, just say hi, hello, talk to them, start feeding them. Most of the people even have fear for doing this particular thing also. So smaller exercises like this can ensure that they are discovering something new about themselves, that there is no fear in going and talking to somebody. There is no fear in just smiling back at somebody. While you are going for a walk or you are going to someplace new. I have seen that in Western culture, what happens is when you go out and meet somebody on a walk, everybody, even if they don't know you, they will just say hi to you. They will smile back at you. Random people, right? In India, generally, we do not have this kind of a culture. Not too much, right? So, why this culture is not there? Because we are so fearful, we are so insecure about so many things. We keep fearing about, ki, what if I smile and the other person does not smile back? So that attachment with outcomes is so high that we don't perform the responsibility. We don't perform smaller activities also. So ensuring that every time somebody is there, in order to feel empowered, we need to get ourselves unattached from the results and outcomes. Because when we perform a task, when we perform any kind of duty, right, whether it is studies, whether it is talking to somebody, whether it is a life coaching session, कोई भी activity आप ले लो, whenever you are doing some performing some activity, you are not sure about the result ever, because the results are not in our hand. What is in our hand is performing that duty with 100% mindfulness by being there in that particular activity with whatever knowledge and authenticity we have. Right? So perform the duty, don't become attached to the outcome, and that's when you feel the maximum empowerment in yourself. Then third point here talks about is when they want to develop strong relationships. So it's very important that in order to have very strong relationships, we need to introspect. Because most of the time what happens is spiritually, it is believed that you encounter most people in your life who are there in your life to show you a mirror, right? That you want to see for yourself. What we generally are not able to see in us. You know, yes, we are, Devika, yes, we are looking for success in our life, but success has different meaning for different people. What success mean for me may not mean for you, right? Similarly, what Akriti would think of success, maybe you don't think about success. Some people purely think of success in monetary terms. कि मुझे best बनना है to get maximum profit out of it. Some people perform activities so that they can get contentment, satisfaction, and that's why they get into that self-development mode, more into NGOs, non-profit organizations. So success really do not have a meaning as such. Even if you read dictionary, it does not really specify a very specific meaning. I have seen in my entire life that success has meant different kind of things. So a money reaching at this stage also does think that he's not really successful. He's still striving for more. If he wants to become the richest person of the world, right? Because he's not reached there yet. So similarly, success has very different definitions. So let's not get into that. कि outcome क्या होगा when you're performing your activities and duties with complete mindfulness, with being present in those activities. That's when you feel very empowered and you feel satisfied about giving your 100% into that. And yes, the outcomes will obviously be better when you do perform these kind of activities. But we cannot control outcomes. And that is what is told in Gita also. If you remember, Bhagavad Gita talks about this particular thing only, that you have to perform your duties, you have to perform what is it in your hands, but you cannot really get attached to the outcomes of anything. Right? So the third point that we are discussing now is when they want to develop strong relationships. So introspection for relationship is very important. You need to see the reflection of yourself into the mirror and see why something is happening with you. Why you're not able to maintain good relationships with people, with society, with other things, in case you are working towards that kind of a thing. Right? So that's very important, that introspection should happen, and you need to understand and realize the truth of what exactly happens in different kind of relationship, because personal growth happens when we are working in a community as a team together. So when we have to work in a team together, whether it is professional or personal, it's very important. In personal mein kya hota hai, people have disturbed family, Why they have disturbed families? Because they are not able to maintain very good relationships. And generally, you will see most disturbed families, jahan par bhi relationships are not really very good, they keep blaming each other. That it's not because of me, it's because of her, it's because of him, it's because of kids, something or the other. So nobody is able to take that responsibility themselves. That it is my responsibility to ensure that the relationship that I am in is going to work really well. And if it is not working really well, then I have to, it's my responsibility to come out of it as well. So we have to take that sense of responsibility, do that introspection every time for personal growth, that what is working out for us and what is not working out for us. Once you realize that truth, once you do that introspection, it's very easy for you to create your relationships, and your relationship will flourish in the long terms as well. Right. Then आता है need of personal growth. So what is the need of personal growth in our life? What is it required and why it is required? So we say that when they want to live the life they want to live, insecurities and limiting beliefs will come. Suppose now you don't want to study. Somebody comes to you and they say, "Ki, my parents have actually put me into an MBBS course, but I don't want to do MBBS. I want to actually become a singer or a dancer." So what is it that is bringing, the problem in their personal growth is purely once the parents' beliefs, once the parents are enforcing them their own wishes on them, and what led to this is they become very insecure in their life. Such students or such people, even when they become adult, or even if they clear their MBBS or they become a doctor, they are still full of very limited beliefs and insecurities. So it's very important that whenever you understand, that is why career coaching is becoming so important aspect for many people, purely because what people used to think traditionally, that there can be only 4 or 5 good careers where you can earn a lot of money. Now it's not the case. Last 2 decades, a lot of things have changed. People have created wonderful career from IT. People have created wonderful careers from writing books, from dancing, from so many different kind of skills. So it's very important for performing these activities in a life coaching in a manner that people are not feeling insecure about whatever new path, whatever new choices that they are making. So it's very important for somebody's personal growth to look into their limiting beliefs and insecurities. Most of the time, on a day to day basis, if you think about it, that you're not able to perform certain things in your life purely because of limiting beliefs. One belief which is very common, one fear which is very common that comes to everybody's mind is, what will people think about me if I do this? So, for example, you want to wear something really, really different that you generally wear. Not a sari, not a suit, not even jeans. You really want to wear a black short mini leather skirt. You really want to look very happening, but you still have that fear that I've never worn it before. I may not be able to look good. Whether how will it suit my body type? So all these limiting beliefs generally stop us from doing things which generally should not be thinking about, and that is the whole purpose of life coaching for a personal growth means. Then next aate hai when they want to feel better about themselves. So people come to you for personal growth. They talk about their personal growth and transformation and development is when they really want to feel good about themselves, right? So, for example, somebody is feeling very down in terms of their emotional insecurity, emotional problem. How do you think you are going to help them out? It's a question to both of you. No answers?
Ma'am, by creating safe beliefs in them,
Sorry? Couldn't hear.
working on self working on self belief,
Working on
self belief.
working on self belief. Yeah. What else? Niveda, what do you think? What kind of techniques you are going to teach them? If people will come to you that they really need something, they want to feel better about themselves. Yeah, seeing mirror is one of the activities, but what other than seeing mirror? Yes, affirmations is also good.
Mm, by highlighting the positives in their life or personality.
Yes, yes, very true. So it's very important that you need to give them and show them the mirror in a manner that a lot of good things have also happened in life. It's not the life is not about I just heard I was watching a trailer of a movie called Thank God, and there was a very good dialogue that I like. So Ajay Devgan, the actor, says that if you cannot laugh on one joke for more than one time or two times, then why do you keep yourself attached to limited beliefs? So why do you keep yourself attached to the wrong things that have happened in your life? When you cannot laugh, you should not feel sadness and gloominess around the things that have happened in your life. Right? Yes, so seeing your achievements, talking about all the positive things, motivation comes from smaller things in a day that we do and perform. So even if you suppose somebody is suffering from depression, right? For a depressed person, getting up in the morning and taking a shower is a very big achievement. So why not celebrate that? So how we perform our goals is basically, so suppose you are my client and you have this problem. So I tell them that write down your positive things that you do which you have never done so far. Before this coaching session, if you have not done something, just create a journal and start writing things that you have done really beautifully. So, for example, if for a depression patient, they are able to go for a walk for 15 minutes, or they were able to go out and talk to somebody, their friends or their family members. So, we try and celebrate those moments. So, I tell them that treat yourself with a chocolate or a toffee or whatever you really like to have, go out and have golgappas. So, these smaller activities that you're doing for you feeling better for yourself, just go and celebrate that also, so that your mind, your subconscious mind is getting that treatment that I performed something good, my affirmation says that I did really well, and now I want to celebrate that also. Yes, perfectly right, Niveda. That divide your task, let people know that life is all about celebrating, and celebration does not mean larger celebration like only Holi and Diwali and the bigger festivals. The celebration can happen on a very small basis as well. Yes, spending time with nature, walk in the nature is very good. And another meditation technique that we teach our client is basically it's called Mother Nature meditation. So what happens in this meditation is it's a relaxation technique also. You can perform that yourself every morning for 10 minutes. Go and walk in the grass without barefoot. So it's very important that you are not wearing any slippers or any shoes, and the grass should be very green. It should not be a dry grass. And try and walk for 10 minutes. When you're walking, just ensure that you're putting your entire mind and energies into looking into how your steps are feeling. So every time you're putting one step forward, you need to feel that feeling entire body, in your entire body. You need to feel that how the grass is actually tickling your feet, how that grass is actually puffy and it is giving relaxation to your feet. So everything that you're performing during that 10 minutes, look at the trees, see what kind of birds are there, what kind of trees you are finding, what kind of animals are there, what kind of people you're meeting on the way. These things have to be done while you're on the walk, and there should not be any. Try and segregate yourself from the work related things. Work related things, I means that from your household responsibility or professional responsibility, don't think about all those things in those 10 minutes. And that's when the mindfulness comes to play. And when mindfulness comes to play, whatever activity you're doing actually becomes the meditation. So that's the meditation. This meditation technique is also known as grounding technique. You can use that. It's a very wonderful technique to be used. Yes, Niveda. So understanding your own feelings is very important. But understanding those feelings, some feelings can be negative also. So ensuring that you are getting these negative feelings or negative thoughts and they will pass. They are not going to stay with you for a longer period of time. So affirmations helps in basically focusing all our, what do you call it, concentration on bringing more positive into your life. So practicing gratitudiness and practicing affirmation is also a very good technique when you are working on personal growth with your clients. Right? Then next आता है for courage. So personal growth is very important for courage. Why do you think that? Let me know your point of view. Why do you think that personal growth is very important for?
Ma'am, because every step that we are taking daily requires amount of courage. The amount of courage may be different
Hmm.
for every particular task, but it requires courage, whether it is a smaller task or
You went on mute. I could not hear it. Yeah.
ma'am, because every task that we are performing on daily basis,
Hmm.
whether we think it is very important or not, but it requires courage. The amount of courage will be different for every task,
Hmm.
but there is courage needed for doing anything
Yeah, but why do you think personal growth needs courage?
so that one can take the steps that he or she want to with full confidence.
Yes, confidence is very important. Now think from this perspective that how many people in their lifetime, in their entire lifetime, are able to reach their goals that they have set for themselves? How many do you think would be able to do that?
Not so many.
Right? Not too
Facing
many.
failure
So
is
generally, yeah. So there is a research in this context that only 23% people are able to reach their complete goals that they have set for themselves. The rest 77% people or 78% people are never able to reach their goals. And why this happens? It happens purely because we do not believe ourselves. We do not show that courage of taking the risk. So, for example, a very basic example is yes, you have written it really well, Niveda, that courage is required to take action, and we do not take actions. Right? We keep thinking about it that someday I will do this, someday I will try and do that, and someday I will go and talk to this person, whatever. Even if it's just a matter of, say, for example, if you want to go and you really like somebody, right? And there is we both are we all three are females here. So suppose all three of us like somebody really, really so much, but we do not feel that courage. We do not really gather that courage and go and tell that person that we really like him, or we want to have friendship, or we want to have a relationship with them. We keep thinking about it, and he or she performs that activity with somebody else. They find somebody else at the end, right? So it's a very basic thing, and it happens purely because for a woman it happens because we were never given that kind of a what do you call it, nurturing, right? People do not never told us that whatever you feel in your heart, you can easily go and share it with somebody, right? We always were given this thing that they will reject you. So that rejection word is the most hated word that I really do not like. So that rejection is there. People are talking about that they will not reciprocate in the same way that you feel for them. So many different kind of limitations, limited beliefs we have kept the entire lifetime. And that is what happens is that when you really fall in love with somebody, you really do not get that courage and share it with them. And then you feel that loss for the entire lifetime. Imagine, just because, even if just suppose, even if the person does not reciprocate your feeling, but at least you will not regret it not sharing your own feelings with that person, right? So it's as basic, simple as that. That is the reason why that courage is required. Instead of living a whole life thinking about it, what if I have told him or her about my feelings? Now if you have shared that, you are at least relieved that I said and she said or he said no, and I'm okay with that. So let's move on and I'll find somebody better. Right. So this is how the courage should actually play a life in our, yeah, in our matters, in everything. It's a very basic example I've given. Similar things happens when you want to do something different in your professional life. You have worked for organization for 20 years. Now you want to start something of your own, but still you have limited belief. You have funds, you have skills, you have a lot of experience, but still that courage is not there that I can start something of my own, purely because again your family, your society, your friends will come and say, nah, it will not work out because you do not have done that. Nobody in your family has ever been an entrepreneur. So different kind of things, right? You cannot become a millionaire. For millionaire, you need to do something different than what you are doing currently. So these limited beliefs, these limited things, these limiting nurturing that we have got from the society, this actually stops us from taking any action for courage. So it's very important that when we are talking about personal growth in a right manner, we are talking about courage to gather up in the morning, take action, at least perform that action, whatever comes to your mind. And that's when you will be able to see. Then आता है for authenticity. Authenticity is a wonderful word, and this entire mental health issues are being faced by people. Different kind of mental health problems are faced by people. All these emotional traumas are faced by people purely because they never feel authenticity in themselves. Why? Because somewhere we are always trying to impress somebody else. Who said that success means that you need to have a 3 bedroom flat for yourself? You need to create a building for yourself. You need to have a bank balance of 50 lakhs for yourself, right? So success has never meant one thing for anybody in this entire world. Otherwise, we would all look similar. Otherwise, we would all be building the similar kind of things and dreams and desires, right? So for authenticity, what happens is that we start comparing ourselves with so many other people that we do not believe in our own selves. That what are we capable of? And that is the reason why people are searching so much about what is the purpose of my life. You will never find the purpose of your life till the time you try to become somebody else. When somebody has created us, they have created us with 2 eyes, one nose, 2 ears, one mouth. So very similar. Still, we look so much different from one another. And when we look so much different from one another, that means there is something unique in ourselves. And we have to find that uniqueness, that what is my uniqueness, what is it that I do differently, what is it that I am differently capable of, and that's when the authenticity comes. And that is when the people reach these 23% people in the entire world that we are talking about, who are really successful in terms of everything. They have time for themselves, they have wealth, they have businesses that they have created, they have wonderful relationships, they are feeling very happy, content, satisfied about themselves. They are making changes in other people's lives. So, so many things these people are doing, and it's such a small percentage. Why it's such a small percentage is purely because they have found themselves, their personal growth. So they do not have limiting beliefs, they feel better about themselves, they have the courage to do something different, and they are authentic. They believe and they do. Right? Any questions so far? Okay, so let's move to this new slide. Now, what is the essential skills as a coach that you need to have so that you can perform your You can help other people find their personal growth as well as your own personal growth in coaching business. So what do? Number one is the ability to listen. So it's very important that your ability to listen is much more than talking and reading and writing when you are in this business. In order to become an effective coach, you need to understand each and everything that is not being said and each and everything that is being said in a manner that you are understanding it. And this listening is not just selective listening, this listening is complete listening. So, Niveda, you do not understand? I did not get your question. What is this no ma'am for? I could not understand that. So that's why I'm asking. Acha, okay. This is for no doubt. All right. So essential skills as a coach is very important is that, more than talking, you are your entire time. So for example, if the first session is 30 minutes. So in 30 minutes, 23 minutes should be given to listening purely. Now you need to ask them encouraging questions. So tomorrow's class, we will talk about the questions, which we call in our coaching language, we call it appreciative inquiry. So how we can actually get involved into appreciative inquiry so that the questions that we develop, the kind of questions that we need to ask. So there are more than 100 kind of questions that we can ask in appreciative inquiry. So I'll teach you the task of how we actually perform this appreciative inquiry and listen to. So the first essential skills as a coach for personal growth is listening. Now, why listening is purely because when you're consulting a client, it is all about them, right? It is not about your story. It is not about your troubles and traumas. So you need to listen to them completely so that you can understand what is going on. And if you do not listen, then how will you know what ails them? What is the problem that they are going through? How can they improve their lives? Or how you can help them improve their lives? The second important thing is normally the client will be the kind of people who have no one to listen to them, especially the emotional trauma, the mental stress, mental health people, even some physical disability people or people who are feeling some diseases, kind of PCODs. PCODs is again purely happens because a lot of trauma is stored inside the body. Thyroid is also one of those things, right? So now why such things have happened is because throat chakra is related to speaking, right? Speaking your truth. Whatever you know, you need to speak. Now you are not able to speak it to somebody, then what will happen to your throat chakra? Anything, all the problems related to throat chakra will happen. One basic problem that happens in the society, most of the people, is thyroid. Either they get hypo, they get hyper. People do not understand. They keep eating tablets their entire lifetime and they don't get to the results that why I'm not able to get rid of thyroid. Right? I tell you, I got rid of thyroid. I just had it for 6 months. And when I realized I was just practicing Reiki at that point in time and realized that I am not talking what I want to. I am not taking out my emotions. I am not able to deal with the emotions that I have. And I have nobody where I can talk to. So what I did was I started writing. I started blog writing. I started writing poems. Started writing different articles. And that's when I realized my thyroid has absolutely gone from my life, right? So this is what it's very important to feel that all these things, all these ailments and problems that is stored in our body parts from various emotions has to come out. And why somebody has come to you for life coaching is purely because they are not having anybody in their life, their parents, their friends, their everybody else around them is not having time to listen to them. When they come to you, you're still facing fluctuations. Akrit, you're also not able to listen to me.
Ma'am, the audio quality is clear.
It's clear? Okay. So maybe some fluctuation because
Yes,
of
ma'am.
network.
For me, it's clear.
Niveda, it is better now? Maybe some network issue, that's what I correct. So normally what happens is that when people have come to you, they have stored so many things in their subconscious and conscious mind is that they just want to vent it out. So give them that opportunity at least for first 3 sessions or maybe more. Give them this opportunity that you are just talking, listening to them. Your questions should be that nudging, your questions should be such appreciative about themselves that they feel that urge to share more and more. So that technique of asking the right question through appreciative inquiry, using the method of appreciative inquiry, we will do it tomorrow, which will help us in getting to listen more. Now, after listening skills, second is very important is that creating a rapport. It's very important that you need to find and fill up that gap of not having a very good reputation with your clientele. You need to understand them. Initially, people will come with doubts, right? Because life coaching is not simply that you take them through a diagnosis, you give them some test, and they do the test and they see the result. So in order for the results to come out, it takes time. And till that time, till that results start showing, it gets little difficult for people to believe you. So that doubt will always be there. So it's very important that you keep creating that rapport with your clients so that that doubt starts getting to minimize every time when they come to you. And that is why I say that package it so well that you are giving them some immediate remedies. So immediate remedies are relaxation techniques, very quick. Right, so give them that technique, tell them do for pranayama, do breathing exercises. Breathing exercises, if they perform really well, show them how to do breathing exercises. The moment they do breathing exercises, the relaxation has already come. Twice a day, thrice a day, 2 times, 4 times in a day, 2 minutes relaxation exercise. You just prescribe that, and you will see that they've started a belief. Because no matter what the problem is, relaxation, breathing techniques bring that relaxation so that the oxygen level in the entire body has increased. Very basic scientific formula. Nothing to do with life coaching as such. But yes, we use it so that people will start feeling that relief from very first day onwards. And try and show them when they are with you, whether it is an online coaching session or an offline coaching session, sit with them, show them how this breathing technique needs to be performed. There are different kind of pranayamas that you are already aware of. Try and show different kind of pranayama every time. If they don't believe in yoga, don't teach them yoga. Teach them relaxation techniques and things will be taken care of. Then knack of solving problems. Now, as a coach, you need to work on your problem solving things as well, right? You cannot you cannot provide solutions to somebody without understanding the whole process of problem solving. So, how do you think, Akriti? I think if you have studied that what kind of problem solving techniques we use. You want to take us through that?
Ma'am, I have studied stages of problem solving.
What are the stages of problem solving?
In first step, yes, ma'am.
Whatever you remember.
In first stage, there is realization that it is a problem. Uh, what exactly is the problem? In second stage, uh, what resources are available to solve this problem? Just give me 1 minute.
Sure. So Niveda, the question is that how do you solve problems? What is the technique? What is the method of solving the problem?
Yes, ma'am. So in first stage, realizing that there is a problem. In second stage, we have to define what exactly the problem is, and then third stage, strategy formation for problem solving. It may be algorithmic, which is long term, step by step, and sometimes we just do what our mind say. So, and in fourth technique, organizing all the informations that are available. In fifth step, allocating resources that are going to be used, what we need to solve this problem.
Right.
Then in sixth stage, monitoring the whole process, and in the last stage, evaluating whether we have reached the solution or not.
Right. Very true. So Niveda, this is how we solve the problem. So this is basically a scientific technique of every problem that you encounter. You can actually solve these problems through this. So first is like you have said that understand the problem. Occurrence the frequency also is there. But first is to identify what exactly the problem is, because most of the time people do not even go to that stage and write down their problems thoroughly. So first is identification, understanding, then finding out what kind of different steps, different solutions which are available, looking into all those alternative solutions, thinking which one is best suitable, or brainstorming with somebody, or maybe you yourself doing an introspection that what is the pros and cons of each solution, and then finding and coming out to the solution. That is why we always say that different problems, uh, even for one problem we can have different solutions to solve that, and purely because for from alternative solutions people generally choose different solutions as per their own convenience, as per their own pros and cons deliberation. So very importantly for every coach, no matter what side of coaching that you're doing, you want to do marriage skills coaching, you want to become a life coach, you want to become professional wellness coach, career coach, emotional coach, any kind of coach. Problem solving should be a technique that should be should be aware of. Then giving ruthless feedback. So it comes as very sometimes very shocking to the clients that you are being so open and so ruthless. You need not get too much aggressive when you are giving them feedback, but ruthless here means that you need to be very open while giving them feedback. That if something is going wrong, it is their responsibility to correct that. For example, if there is something wrong which is going on in your life, how can you how can you blame it on your parents? How can you blame it on somebody who is not alive, or somebody who is non-existence in your life? So even if that trauma or that pain is because of them, but ultimately it is you who is giving that much of importance to that person or their thoughts or whatever they think about you. So it's very important to take that responsibility and command your life, become a controller, driver, pilot of your own life. And that is when this giving ruthless feedbacks comes to your play. You have to become very open. Even if you are very introvert, you need to become very extrovert and provide them that feedback that yes, something is not really going on very well in your life, and that's when you need to step up the things and charge yourself. Right? Then last is having the right skills. So right skills is that you need to lead your sessions. So that is why leadership skills is very important. Till the time you're not the leader, you're not in the command of your own sessions. There, that means that you're losing on to the person. Even if they are speaking more, you are just the listener more, but you need to drive it yourself. So that is the reason why we have been talking about life coaching in a structured manner. That you need to provide it a structure, you need to provide it in a manner that it is very structured, it is very authenticated, and that you are driving it down every time. So the command is in your hands, but people should feel that they are driving. Okay, that's the kind of leadership skills which was required. Then management of the whole session. So management of the whole session is ensuring that you are using some coaching style, ensuring that the models are used correctly, ensuring that whole setting is being used correctly. Then self-awareness. So it's very important that every technique that you're using, you have used it at least 2-3 times before you are experimenting. Not experimenting, you are really using it for somebody, and you need to be aware about what is the outcome of each and every technique that you are providing it to. Right? So though we are saying that do not get attached to the outcomes, but here in these things, because these are scientific techniques that we're talking about, so it's very important for people to know that if something is not really going well, so that self-awareness for you as a coach is very important to have. And then mindfulness, very importantly again. So mindfulness is that you are 100% present. A lot of emotions will flow in your coaching sessions. I also always say sometimes we become very vulnerable to emotions. Sometimes we actually वो कहते हैं ना बह जाते हैं emotions में. So try and do not do that. Become mindful that you are the one who has to be in their senses all the time, more emotionally balanced, having more EQ in you, and showing empathy, but not really getting involved into the other person's emotions, right? So that art of detachment has to be taught to self on a regular basis to become a very good professional coach, right? Now, how yoga and personal development happens side by side. We are going to talk about it from the perspective because we are doing yoga life coaching sessions more than emotional life coaching. So, yoga and physical dimension of personality is very, very important. People do not even talk about it, right? We keep thinking that for yoga is for mind, body, and soul, right? So, mind, body, and soul, where that physical dimension is your body. Now, how it is basically helping your body is through asana, pranayama, and bandha play. So, there is, I'm not sure Akriti, you have studied that, but I'm sure Niveda must have gone through it in the yoga classes. Yeah. So, bandha play is again a very important thing that we perform in yoga, which helps us in physical development of children. Right? People generally don't believe कि for suppose height increase की problem है. So there is a problem that somebody has come to you, my child is not increasing their height. It is very much possible from asana and pranayama and bandha play. These are all techniques of yoga can be incorporated and can improve the functioning of your body completely. Again, a very scientific thing. And it's not that you cannot use yoga in emotional life care coaching or another part of coaching. You can easily because yoga is not yoga. I don't call it yoga. The yoga has complete, what do you call it? I'm forgetting that word. Remedies for each and everything that we perform in our life. It is so quick, it is so great. The way it has been written, the way it has been practiced for so many years, it has all the remedies which are available for all the issues related to mind, body, and soul. So, when we are even talking about emotional care coaching, so it's very good that you understand certain part of yoga and meditation, you incorporate those part of yoga and meditation into your session because it really is helpful for people and it gives that personal development. Then second part of it is yoga and emotional dimension of personality. So this is what is all about for you majorly. Akriti. Yogi practices such as yama, niyama, asana, and pranayama. So yoga practices are basically segregated into 8 parts. That's why we call it Ashtayanga yoga. Right? In India, in our Vedas, this is how it is written. Most of the people only talk about asanas and pranayamas is because these are more popular. But these 8 principles of yoga is very, very important for our spiritual and emotional connect with ourselves. Pratyahara and meditation help in emotional management. Right? All the psychological tools, all the psychological Western studies that have been performed, they are performed using these principles of Pratyahara and Yama and Niyama. So all those things that people have spoken about in psychology, somewhere their roots are again attached to yoga. And that is why yoga and meditation. So that is why it is so important to understand these things. And that is why the whole purpose of designing this course was basically this, that how do we find our roots? How do we get remedies from the roots that is there? So, for example, the principle of non-violence. So, there is a principle of non-violence that you are going to practice non-violence. So, yogi becoming yogini does not mean that you are just performing asanas and yogas. You need to perform these principles of yoga also. So, one of the principle is practicing of non-violence. So, non-violence means that you will protect from negative emotions. You will develop positive feelings of love and kindness for yourself or everybody else that you are meeting. Similarly, other principles of yama and niyama. Yama and niyama means मतलब मैं किस नियम के साथ. What are the principles that I am going to utilize every day? Will help to develop positive emotions and attitudes in our personal and social life. Right? So it's very important that you understand these things in details and then start using them in your life coaching sessions. Now, yoga and intellectual dimension of personalities. Again, practices like asana, pranayama, dharana and dhyana. Dharana मतलब बैठ जाना और ध्यान मतलब ध्यान के अंदर बैठ जाना. They have to develop concentration, memory, in focus, and intellectual development. So for kids, it's very important that we give them these trainings from very start. Our nurturing as a parent and the school as a teacher also should be included into their personality, that their so yoga should be there as a part of the curriculum, purely because these principles helps them bring the intellectual development. Then yoga and social dimensions. So social dimensions में वो क्या-क्या चीजें आ जाएंगी? Principles of yama, which includes three elements, that is betterment of our relationships, friends, teachers, parents, and others. So it's very important. Most of the time, people suffer in their lifetime purely because they are not able to maintain and create good relationship with their kids and teens. Family may have with their parents also, they do not have good relationship with their kids, they do not with their family members, with their husbands and wives. So I don't know how many different kind of relationships problem. So it's very important that we perform those principles of yama, which helps us find out more about ourselves, and hence we are able to work on our relationships with others as well. Then last but again not the least is spiritual dimension of personality. What are the things that helps in spiritual dimension is all the things. Yam, Niyam, Pratyahara, Dhyana. Very helpful. So Yam and Niyam basically helps to develop our moral values. Pranayama and meditation help us from true self realization. The more you realize things about yourself, the more you will get to know about yourself. I'm not sure if you have read some scripture. Any scripture that you have read? Ramayana, Mahabharata, Gita, anything? Nothing? Not even Gita? You should read Bhagavad Gita.
Ma'am, I have started Gita. Just
So
started.
why I'm
1
saying
month
that,
ago.
yeah, that Bhagavad Gita is so important is purely because it takes you through self introspection. Right? It is not just meant for, and every time you read Gita, there is something new that you find out. Right? Even if you have read for 5, 6 times, again seventh time you will see that there is one aspect that you never understood, and that's something very new and very different. So it's very important to, so this I'm just saying for Gita purely from a spiritual perspective. Even if you do it for any book, right? Any good book that you want to read in your life for personal development, for professional development, any good book you pick up, if you read that book more than once, you will realize that a lot of things were left to understand from the first time you have read. Second time you will read it much better, you will understand more. Third time you will in fact understand even much more better. It can happen with a film or a movie also that you see. Yes, so Gita says that staying present and living now, it's very important. And that's what the whole aspect of mindfulness is all about, Niveda, right? So when we talk about mindfulness, so mindfulness says that whatever you're doing currently at present time, even if it is just breathing, you need to concentrate on that. Nothing else should matter. So for spiritual dimension of your personality, because our personal growth, people see that personal growth is all about just mental and physical, but it's not really the case. Our personality, our relationships, social status, relationships with other people, personal dimension of personality, spiritual dimension of personality, all these things becomes very important. It's like a round ball. You need to have different things working for yourself in the right manner so that the circle can move really, really forward. Right? It becomes a ball basically, ball of your own personality, of your personal growth when you look into the five dimensions that we have just spoken about. So intellectual, social, spiritual, physical, and emotional. So these are principles of Yama and Yama because I was aware that you may not have gone through them, Kriti, and maybe the yoga classes may not have been given them this one particular thing. It's very important. And it's not from a yogi perspective. In general life, also, if we perform these things, principles in our life becomes much more easier to live. So the five principles of Yama are ahimsa, which is non-violence. You need to perform non-violence in your life. Satya means truthfulness. Everything that you're doing, everything that you are incorporating, everything that you're performing should be done with truthfulness. Then asteya means non-stealing. You are not going to steal something from somebody. You need to be very authentic about yourself. Brahmacharya means abstinence. Brahmacharya does not mean that you're not really involved into different things. Abstinence means abstinence from different desires at one point in time. The desires which are taking you away from your, taking away your focus from your own goals. So that's abstinence. And then apaharigraha, which is non-collectiveness. So aparigraha means that non-collectiveness of different thoughts, limited beliefs, different kind of things that we keep thinking about ourselves. So that non-collectiveness has to happen. Don't collect things just for the sake of it. Uh, Try and get involved into flow with the life is what we generally believe that the life should be all about. And flow with life means that do not try and control things from that perspective that you are collecting everything. It should work on manner that somebody in life has really set something wonderful for you. So just live your life in that without controlling the outcomes that is not in your reach. That's five principles of Yama. Now there are five principles of Niyama. Niyama means jo roz karna chahiye, that everyday habits, that routine that we generally follow. So one is Shocha, which is cleanliness. Shocha is, obviously a very basic thing that we do every morning. So going and refreshing, using toilet. Then Santosha means satisfaction. You need to have that satisfaction in you all the time, that contentment. Tapas is austerity, right, that you're performing that tapas some every day. Then Swadhyaya, study of good literature and knowing about the self. So giving some time to self, performing that my activities, getting involved into an introspection of what is right and wrong. And why good literature is written there? Because reading good books automatically takes you away from negative thoughts. Then Ishwar Pranadhina, which is dedication to God and Supreme Power. So some time of your day should be performed. You should be performing these activities where you are dedicating that time of your life to any God that you believe in, any Supreme Power that you believe in. Whether it is meditation, whether through religious activity, whether doing Samadhi Puja, whatever you want to perform and do. So these five principles of Niyama and Yama are to be done every day when you are actually wants to become a good yogic life coach in your life. Right? These are the asanas. That's very, very important for everybody to perform. You can actually perform these asanas on a daily basis for yourself, as well as you can prescribe in your coaching sessions to anyone. But do not prescribe, do not share it with them till the time you have done that yourself. So one is Surya Namaskar. So all the complete rounds of Surya Namaskar. Then Tada Asana, Simasana, Manduka Asana, Uttana Manduka Asana, Kukutasana, Matsyana, Bhujangasana, Makarasana, Shalabhasana. There are many more forms of it, but these are the few ones which are very, very important for your own personal growth. So these asanas is incorporated in a manner that if you perform this, and it doesn't take more than 15 to 20 minutes to perform these asanas on a daily basis, create a flow. How you're actually practicing this asana one after the another. And once you create that flow, you will see that how you beautifully your whole life is flowing in front of you. It becomes a practice. So immediately after finishing one Surya Namaskar, no, Surya Namaskar, do Tadasana. Tadasana say next change position, kar lo Samasana, फिर Mandukasana, all these things. So one after the another, you keep performing this one asana after another. It brings so much of relaxation in your body. The blood flow increases in mind and body both, and then you start feeling very good, very energetic. So even if you have slept for 4 hours and still you perform these asanas, you will be able to live to the entire day without feeling sleepy or without feeling bored about anything. Okay, that's the power of these asanas. And then meditation techniques. Yes. So we have done visualization, we have done whiteboarding, we have talked about breathing techniques. So these are three, brahmastras of meditation techniques. If you learn these three techniques really, really well, you will be able to take your coaching session to a very different level altogether. So with visualization, you can actually help people visualize the problems of their lives again and then finding out the solutions. So for example, if somebody has faced anything in their childhood, right, you need to ensure that you're taking them back to that visualization of what exactly happened during that time and what solution they did not do that time, now they perform with you. So that is what the power of visualization is. But it should not be performed without having proper training, without practicing it yourself, and then recommend. Whiteboarding, we have done that. So whiteboarding is again very powerful, very, very powerful meditation technique. It is being done by most of the people in the entire world. Uh, Again, it is done under a trained professional usually, because the trained professional has the capacity of taking you, because it involves a little bit of hypnosis, right? So with hypnosis, it can be performed really well because you are actually going to live all your experiences which are painful for you. So when something is painful for you, there are times when you get into different kind of. Some people get panic attacks. Some people get too much of emotional trauma. Again, so it's very important that you do perform whiteboarding techniques really, really well. In Indonesia, it is also called whiteboarding technique is also called Tao technique. We perform in Indonesia. Again, there is a very, very important, powerful institution that gives training on Tao whiteboarding. Then breathing techniques, you already know. So pranayama, so it start ho jata hai. So it's more of pranayama. Immediate breathing techniques like relaxation, pull your body to very tightness and then release your body. First thing is that. Then square breathing techniques that is also used in pranayama. Pranayama ke sath brahmari. So many different techniques are there. Right? When you perform these techniques yourself, then you will be able to tell people what is the best thing that you have studied. What is the best technique that you have studied, what you have used, and then you can perform it on others. Right? So this is all about coaching for personal growth and development when you're dealing with clients and people who are facing difficulty in finding their goals in life. Any questions on this? Niveda, you have any question? Yes, please go on. You want to do whiteboarding technique right now? You are traveling, right? Yes. So tomorrow morning we will do whiteboarding once again. And I will tell you the steps also. What are the steps that needs to be done? From a technician point of view also, I'll give you all those steps so that you can perform it on others. But first try and at least perform for 2-3 times on yourself and then do that. Satchit Ananda is wonderful meditation. I also perform every night, mostly every night before sleeping. It is very empowering and it helps you reach your goals really fast. So it's kind of a secret, right? For Satchitananda meditation, anything, any small goal you have for your life, anything small. So maybe, for example, that you want to just say that you want to earn 10,000 rupees this month. Perform Satchitananda every night before sleeping, just for 5 minutes, and you will see that these 10,000 rupees will come into your life. Don't get attached कि कहाँ से आएंगे क्यों आएंगे. Don't feel that from where it is going to come. Just do that and you will see the power of it. It can be performed with anything, any manifestation, but with Satchitananda it really works very well because you're focusing on all three things together: the truthfulness of our life, the concentration, and then finding the joy. But just don't doubt your intentions when you're doing it. Right? Try and do it, Akriti. You will also feel good
Ma'am,
about it.
how to do it?
So before sleeping, just sit in the position how we sit for meditation, right? Your spine should be erect, or you're lying down completely straight. Like when you sleep, you lie on your bed, but lie completely straight. So your head and toe is on the straight line. You're not taking any curvature on any side. It's just straight body. Now, close your eyes, take deep breaths, 3 deep breaths. When you take 3 deep breaths, then slowly start chanting in your mind Sat, Chit, Ananda. There are 3 different words. Right? So Sat, Chit, and Ananda. So which are these 3 chakras? Which is your throat chakra, your third eye Ajna chakra, and then your crown chakra. So you're directly doing that, right? And then give intention, any intention that you have. You want to earn 10,000 rupees a month, you want to meet somebody in your life, you want to call out for love of your life, anything. You want to become successful in something, but just have that intention for at least 2-3 weeks. And you will see how your intentions are coming to life. But just don't think that how this intention will get fulfilled. Don't say that I'm going to earn 10,000 rupees from my coaching sessions or my parents will give 10,000. Just believe that I am getting 10,000 rupees this month. Just this much. And you will see that it will come, no matter from which side. So do it for a small amount and then you can perform it for larger amounts also. So don't get greedy about money. No, actually, you can get a lot of wealth through this method also, but concentration उसमें ज़्यादा लगता है. Then you need to perform it with full intention. Yeah, don't try just one night. At least it should be performed for minimum 7-10 nights. Continue doing it and then you will see. Let me know the results after that. 90 days is a very long time. सब कुछ मिल जाएगा. So it's not the ask, it's basically the intention. कितने pure heart से that you are thinking of it. How much you want it. That's what is more important. So we will do whiteboarding tomorrow. Join the class at 9:15. We will start. And then we will do appreciative inquiry. Appreciative inquiry is very important for you to understand what kind of questions and how you are asking questions in the coaching sessions. And then next class, we will just do psychological understanding of how coaching helps in psychologically using psychological tools. So that class may be important for Akriti and Santosh very well. So join those 2 classes, 5th and 6th November, and that's the end of this. Then 12th, we are thinking of keeping your exam. All right. Any other questions?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So then we close the class today. It's done. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Nimrita, sure. So see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thanks. Good night. Have a good evening.